This is Boresight News, and I'm Shaun Kenny.
And I'm Karen Howes. In tonight's show, we have 3 segments for you. In Bob Cooper's feature, he's going to take a look at Three Musketeers technology. In Lee Hadlock's piece, he's going to take a look at how you can repair the power supply on a receiver.
Wait a minute. Who is this Lee Hadlock? All of a sudden, we got a Lee Hadlock? What is this?
Lee Hadlock's our friend. He's a viewer. We've spoken about him before.
But they never met Lee before. He's a brand. He is a viewer. He is from Don Christ or Chris something.
Video
services, and down in New Jersey.
Down in New Jersey.
Down like Cherry Hill, someplace down there. Anyway, he's a viewer, and he came in to show everyone how to do what? Work on transformers.
The power supply receiver.
Yep. What else we got?
So we've got that piece, and we've also got a real special piece. A super person came in here and is going to demonstrate how the modification of the OAK-P decoders work now to override what OAK just did to try to re-encrypt the satellite signals.
Can you see OAK trying to get fingerprints off the video?
I don't know if it can be done.
I don't think so. Yeah, we do have that. I think we're going to start off with Lee Hadlock, and we've got some really new stuff on video cipher and the breaking of the same.
Right. What about the stocking stuffer?
Oh, we have a little stocking stuffer?
Getting ready for Christmas.
That's right. We have a little green thing we'll talk about later on. You know, one thing we're going to talk about right now is we don't want you people to run around saying, we're ambiguous, or we're, what's the other word for ambiguous?
Hypocritical?
Yeah. Because one of the things we're considering selling tonight, we'll see what we actually do, is sell you VC2s.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, no. What we're going to do, I thought about this, and I wondered how we can... We have a trouble getting the advertising thing funded. And what better way to fund it than with the sale of VC2s? If you people want to buy VC2s, the hell with it. Don't buy it from your local dealer. But if you don't have a local dealer in your room, you don't know who to buy a VC2 from, buy it from us here at Boresight. And we'll sell it to you, and the profits from that will all go into an advertising campaign to help sell satellites.
A national ad campaign.
Well, we can't get it funded any other way. I think it's a fair way to get it funded. It is definitely contradictory to our whole being. Our whole being. But being that everyone seems to want these stupid things, personally, I don't know how much longer they're going to be of value, but there are people out there that think they're going to be valuable for the next 10 years. Certainly HBO and Showtimes do, don't they? They still do not believe the encryption system has been broken. I guess we can go on with Lee Hadlock's piece.
That's right, and we'll be back later.
National Satellite Communications has opened yet another door to the satellite industry. NSC, your full-service distributor, with offices in Clifton Park, New York, and Orlando, Florida, now returns to New York at Newburgh. Rely on the NSC computer network to link nationwide warehouse inventory while supplying both service and dealer support on a local level, all to ensure the NSC commitment, providing the highest quality service available. Remember NSC and their newest location in Newburgh. Contact them at 1-800-323-9486.
He's compiled everything you need to know about scrambling into one spot. He calls it the Scramble Facts Newsletter.
20 TV services are now scrambling with Oak Orion, while 15 have signed up with Video Cipher. Another 2 are...
Do you know which 70 TVRO receivers have been tested for compatibility with the Video Cipher? A complete list appears in the new issue of Scramble Facts.
TVP 900, SatStar Elan, SatTech R5000.
Do you know the 8 firms who are providing pirate decoder units or information? Scramble Facts lists them along with their telephone numbers.
Fantasy Satellite at 213-362-977.
Everything you need to know about scrambling, the legal and the illegal, is in Scramble Facts Newsletter. For a MasterCharge card, call area code 305-0505 today. Bob Cooper is the source, and that's important. Scramble Facts Newsletter, available by airmail today. Just call area code 305-771-0505 with your Visa or MasterCharge card handy.
Boresight Satellite Boutique introduces the Portasol Portable Flameless Soldering Iron. The Portasol means no less no wires to get in the way. Using ordinary butane gas, it is completely self-contained and can be used anywhere. Solder wires on your car, boat, or satellite installation without the need of an extension cord. The Boresight is built to last. It is refillable and even comes with a full 1-year manufacturer's warranty, and it's available now for only $24.50 at the Boresight Satellite Boutique and $28 for COD. For COD orders, call 201-562-0080, and for prepaid orders, send $24.50 to Boresight, 264 Piscataway, New Jersey, 08854. Boresight, the Go Iron.
An extra superfine tip is now available for your Portisol. Just $7 at the Boresight Boutique. Call 201-562-0080.
Hi, my name is Lee Hadlock. I work for Don Chris Visual Communications in Collingswood, New Jersey. And what I'd like to do tonight is teach you a revenue aspect that you might have seen or might know about, but maybe not aware of. A lot of times you'll go out to a customer's home, you'll find the satellite receiver's dead. What do? You take it back to your shop, you put it in a box, off it goes to the factory. Comes back from the factory, they charge you $50, you charge them fixing. Well, what I'd like to do tonight is just teach you a little bit about the satellite receiver in general. Give you some ways that you can make that revenue, that's $50 that the factory is charging you, yourself. And don't let this thing antagonize you. Look at it in sections, like I'm going to teach you tonight. If you look at it in sections, you won't get so afraid of, going inside of it. Tonight, I'm just going to discuss the basic block die supply. And that consists of an AC line cord, fuse, transformer, which converts high voltage AC into low voltage AC. For other fusing, some satellite receiver manufacturers use fusing after the transformer. Rectification, and all that means is it changes AC to DC. Filtering, to make it smooth DC. And regulation. And all that means is they take a DC potential and regulate it to, let's say, 12 volts or 5 volts so it stays at that rate. Before you remove the cover like I did here, check the fuse. 99 times out of 100, it's the fuse. But one interesting thing to note about a fuse can tell you a lot about what happened inside of the satellite. A lot of you probably noticed a little fine wire running across inside the fuse. Broken. Something has just been stressed, like short on the IF line, or somewhere a possible other problem internal. That's nothing really to get worried about. If you notice on the fuse there's like a darkening on the surface, that means a dead short has happened someplace. And I'll tell you, that failure you're going to probably find a lot easier. The other thing is, if you look in there and the thing is black, and it was in there, it was vaporized, it's a sure sign of lightning damage, and say goodbye. And now, I'm going to discuss line cords. It's probably, you're going to say to yourself, why is he discussing this? Well, I'll tell you, maybe I shouldn't use percentages all the time, but it's the most stupid problem that usually happen, like the cat sits. The guy's back there cutting the carpet, he puts a nick in it. One sure way to look, check that first, is to see if the satellite receiver has any indication of power at all. And of course, you've checked the fuse. Simple to do. Just look for abrasions. One of the key places that is right here at the connector plug. One way to check the integrity of a line cord is to make sure the power switch is on, the fuse is good, using a continuity meter like this, and believe me, I'm not trying to, get Shaun's meter sold here. Put your continuity meter across the line, and of course you get a reading. Now we know that that's good. Next one I'm going to talk about is the transformer. Now all the transformers, high voltage AC, 120 volt line, which is normal standard in U.S. homes, or 220 volts across the seas, to low voltage AC. A lot of times they'll have what they call multiple secondaries, or multiple low voltage AC outs. And one way to check it, have a multimeter like this. Make sure that everything is isolated so nothing's touching here. Turn on the power and use your multimeter on the secondaries and see if you get readings. A lot of times they usually keep the multiple secondaries close together. So like the two yellows will be, let's say, 18 volts. This red, black, you'll get 5 across here. You'll also get 5, 10 volts across, so that they're not close to each other, because it makes it a lot easier on the PC board when they start rectifying it and filtering it. And now we're going to discuss rectification, and it's not a dirty word. A common example of another example is what they call a bridge. All it is 4 of these in one of these. The way to test a bridge rectifier is, once again, use your multimeter. As you notice, here is a positive mark. Here is a negative mark. Just like it says, black to negative, red to positive. You move in around 5 to, I'd say, 24, maybe up to 32 volts, which is very common. Next, we're going to discuss filtering. Filtering is done with electrolytic capacitors, as you see here. A common problem that you see when these go bad is hum bars running up the screen. Because you could also have, so I would suggest that you try this on 2 different TV sets, or a television set that you're using on a standard television channel, and see if you see them. If you don't, I would say that the problem is definitely a capacitor in the filtering section. Now I'm going to discuss regulation. All regulation is taking the DC potential, which you found, the bridge rectifiers, and converting it to a usable voltage within the set. Remember, you found 28 volts on the bridge rectifier. Well, all this thing does is take that 28 volts and brings it down to a constant and level 5 volts. Key point to note, most voltage regulators usually start with either a 79 or a 78. If you see 79, that means it's a negative voltage regulator. If you see 78, that means it's a positive voltage regulator. Other things to note is that the last 2 numbers, so if you were to measure from ground, which is case on any of the satellite receivers, to the right-hand pin, which is common, you should get that 12 volts. If it's 79, 12, it would be negative 12. If it's a 78, 12, it would be positive 12. Also, thing to note is if you see on the heat sink a little piece of plastic like this, particular IC, which it is isolated from ground. So you can't measure between ground and that right-hand pin. One thing I'd like to add is when you remove the heat sink from the voltage regulators on this power supply board here, be careful not to leave it on. What happens is there's no way for the heat to be sunk into this piece of metal, and these could burn up if you leave it on. Do them quickly, and you'll have no problem. In summary, what I'd like to tell you is you don't have to go through these checks one at a time from one end to the other. Here in the show I told you, and I mean that. Don't start with the line cord and then go to the transformer and then you go to the rectifiers. Start, let's say, with the rectifiers. Check there. If you get voltage there, you know. Also, look for things that are obvious. I mean, if it's black, it's burnt. Other things that I didn't tell you about earlier is a lot of them use what they call fusible resistors. This is an example. This is an example here. Check meter. Most of the ones are very low ohmage, somewhere in around between about 1 ohm. If you get anything higher, if there is any, to make sure that that is the resistance that should be there. If you get it open, you know there's something wrong. Another thing, lightning damage. These voltage regulators are very susceptible, and also the same with these rectifiers. They're very damaged. So, if anything that has lightning damage, a lot of times usually takes a violent, have a noticeable effect on the components. As you might not be able to see, there's a crack in this voltage regulator because of the failure of this particular piece. If there's anything else that you'd like me to cover on Boresight here, drop us a line, care of me, Shaun, or Bill, and I'll start another little training program. I'm eager to help you.
I call your attention to this book titled The Hidden Signals on Satellite TV, Instructive Long-Distance Telephone Conversations, Electronic Newspaper, Computer Data, Radio Network.
It's all there, and you can get your copy of Hidden Signals today from Boresight, $19.95 prepaid and $23.85 COD. Call Boresight at 5080 to order your copy of Hidden Signals. All the parts of the Black Box parts list.
All bagged and ready to go.
All parts are of the highest quality.
All price.
For a limited time, if you purchase both the parts kit and the circuit board, one of Boresight's anonymous loyal viewers will send you a copy of their instruction and assembly book, a $30 to $50 value.
And Bag of Parts now has a new home at Post Office Box 402, Englishtown, New Jersey, 07726. Call 201-446-5308.
Has your satellite system become an orphan? Has your warranty expired? For repair and service for your satellite system, call Pat at United Satellite Systems. Their well specializes in the and model, system updates, video cipher compatibility, and system improvement with rapid turnaround. In top shape. For repair and service, call the experts. United Satellite Systems at 218-5616 and send your equipment out today.
Now that chip solutions to the busting of video cipher seem to be a part of our daily lives, we have a new concern. Well designed, well thought out, and reliable. Let's face a few facts. The world is filled with charlatans who would separate you from your money, giving you any real value for your money. There's an old Latin phrase, caveat emptor, and it means buyer beware. Well, last week, I suggested that if you were to buy a chip, you were doing at least two different things, two conscious acts. Number one, it is illegal, the chip, to bust the video cipher encryption code. There are laws against such things. There are fines, and the jail terms are not insignificant if you are convicted of doing such a thing. That's number one. Number two, if you elect, nonetheless, to purchase a chip, you run the risk that you might buy a defective chip, one from a chip source which is not capable of producing a quality product. That's where the charlatans come in. And I'm concerned for those people who will attempt to buy that the chips they will buy will be either defective or, worse than that, simply rip-offs. In other words, they never were capable of doing the job. I'm concerned enough about this that I am attempting to inspect all of the chips now on the market to verify that they either do or do not work. Now, I do this with a spirit of consumer awareness, not as any type of encouragement that you should actually go out and buy an illegal. Figure that some of you watching this are going to go out legal or illegal no matter what. So let's try to protect those of you who are going to do this no matter what. Some have suggested to me that those people who elect to buy illegal chips deserve anything they might get, including defective chips. Well, I disagree. Nobody deserves a defective chip, unless, of course, it might be HBO. Well, this is a Musketeer chip I hold in my hand. It's a chip with many pins, and it's black on the top, and it's very lightweight, and it could indeed be transmitted through the United States mail service or most any other mail service. And this chip installs in the U30 position in your video cipher. To install this chip, your video cipher must be modified to the extent that there is a chip socket substituted for the factory original U30 device. So this Musketeer chip replaces the original U30 that was wired into the circuit board by the kind people who produced the video cipher in the first place. Putting a socket onto the circuit board for the U30 replacement chip is not a job for amateurs. It's very important that you understand that this is not something that can be undertaken by people who simply do not have a considerable amount of expertise and experience in the various challenges involved in putting a socket on a board in a place where there was no socket before. Very frankly, you could end up busting the circuit board, busting it so badly that it would be beyond repair, and I think you need to understand that. There's one more consideration regarding the installation of the chip. Once you have installed that socket, you have definitely voided the original MACOM or more recently GI factory warranty. That means you can never return that video cipher back to the factory for any kind of warranty repair. Well, this Musketeer chip is really quite ingenious. Doesn't look ingenious, but it is. First of all, it works. I repeat that. It works. And it works very well. Unlike a Musketeer chip from another source, which I demonstrated December 4th on board, this Musketeer chip allows you to receive services after paying for just one scrambled service. Each time you change channel or service, the chip produces unscrambled video and audio instantly. There is not that long wait for messages that tell you to do this and do that. You simply change channels and the unscrambled video and unscrambled audio pops up on the screen. Well, this chip is from a company called Exact. I'm not really sure exactly how they pronounce Exact. The letter X, C, T. Doesn't say Exact on it. That's where it comes from. This firm is located in Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. I'm sure you've heard of it. In the coming weeks, I suspect you will be asked to send money off to any number of different addresses. Those addresses will usually be outside the United States. In fact, here's a caveat of my own. If the address is not outside the United States, may I suggest that you not send them any money, because it's plainly illegal to be dealing in this sort of device from within the United States. So if you're not buying from somebody outside, even though that may seem a little strange, probably you're asking for an unusual amount of trouble and get absolutely nothing in return. Well, I refuse to allow myself to be sucked into the role of approving or disproving illegal chips. I also refuse, however, and this is a more important concern to me, I also refuse to allow people to publicize chips which are not as represented using any of the public information forms that I am associated with. So very reluctantly, for the time being, those who send me chips to ask me to verify whether they work, I will report to you. Those that send me chips that don't work, frankly, you're not going to hear about them. I'm not going to be put in the position of Consumer Reports and tell you which ones do and don't work. Those that do work, I'll tell you about. Those that don't work, you'll never hear about from me. There's one more interesting footnote to the Exact chip. When this firm brought me a chip to study, they also brought me a device which allowed me to see the telemetry inside of the video cipher. These are the uplink transmitted instructions to the full video cipher system. Well, I was impressed enough with this routine to want to share the routine with you. I think a master this can master most countermeasures which GI might attempt to throw up on the satellite. Well, this is a partial set of ROM or read-only memory listings from video cipher. There are more than 350 pages in all in this listing, and if one were to see and study this, as I've been able to do, one would come to the same conclusions I think that I came to, and that is that these people, the people behind this particular chip, were both very bright and very capable of retrofitting their chips for almost any countermeasure program that might come from the program scramblers. Well, the Exact, that's X-A-C-T chip, is as represented, and it costs $200 quantity. It costs less if you buy 5 or more. If you must buy a Musketeer chip, this one right here will not rip you off. It's from Exact. This is Bob Cooper.
Give Coop $20 and get $68 back. It's the bargain of TVRO, no joke. For $20, Coop will send you the next 3 issues of CSD, an $18 value, a copy of the 180-page CSD 5th anniversary issue, the complete unabridged history of home satellite dishes, the who, where, and when of the satellite industry. For the serious dealer, it's worth its weight in gold, a $15 value. And a CSD green sheet advertising listing. Advertise your used or new surplus equipment to thousands of TVRO installers worldwide. The TVRO industry's most complete trading post, and it's a $35 value. Add it up, $68 from Coop, all for a $20 bill. An offer no dealer can refuse. 3 issues of CSD, CSD's 5th anniversary issue, and the green sheet. A $68 value for just $20. Call 301-0505 between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on the weekdays.
Have you seen this commercial? A lot of you out there have and are now proud owners of a black box. Those of you who have not yet responded, we have some exciting news for you. Did you know that there is now close to 30 companies out there working on audio for the Black Box Solution Box? And they seem to be getting very close. We have been contacted by several companies informing us that their audio board is nearing the production stage. Now, the bad news. In order to use these up-and-coming audio boards, you must have a black box. We at Sparks Unlimited Incorporated will be to order. Call 512-257-2196, 8 to 5 Central. Order now to avoid the rush.
This is the news, and this is the first. Last week, Boresight reported on 3 technologies currently on the market which unlock the audio of encrypted satellite services utilizing the video cipher 2. The 3 techniques are the Chicken Coop 3 Musketeers, which does not access request pay-per-view service, the Subway 3 Musketeers, and the clone chip. Most programmers were not available for comment, but those who we were able to contact said that the video cipher cannot be broken. General Instrument also stated that the video cipher is unbreakable. Manufacturing the Musketeer technology say that the hole is in the software and MACOM can't plug it unless they recall all units in the field. A subsidiary of Showtime, the movie channel, is offering a package to the home dish owner and discounts to bulk purchasers. Packagers buying 10,000 subscriptions up front can get a 15% discount. Satellite Direct is also promoting a holiday special which lets dealers package program subscriptions with hardware. Stephen Schulte, leader of this project, says the plan is to get dishes into the backyard. Primetime 24 intends to deliver 3 new superstations to the home dish owner and now to small cable operators. The new distribution service plans to uplink New York's WABC, Chicago's CBS affiliate WBBM, and Atlanta's NBC station WXIA. The programs will be scrambled by the video cipher 2. They will go up on SATCOM 2R, 11, and 23. Due to legal concerns, Primetime 24 will market and distribute the program via Primetime Relay to cable operators. That is a separate corporation from Satellite Broadcast Network, which will distribute Primetime 24 to the home dish owner. Primetime 24 is now testing on SATCOM 2R, and that's where it can be seen. When Space ran into financial difficulties and decided to merge with the Direct Broadcast Satellite Association, TVRO owners and dealers began to wonder who was going to represent the industry's issues. Well, the television viewing intends to fill the satellite's need for an... According to Alan Brechtold, chairman of the association, the Television Viewer Rights Organization will not just represent the rights of TVRO owners, but of all television viewers. Brechtold feels that once cable increases its prices come January 1, 1987, all viewers are going to need representation. And he also feels that the more people involved, the stronger the group. Boresight is planning to hit popular TV news and talk shows in order to get the viewer rights issue heard. Boresight viewers should also continue the push to contact these programs and get cable subscribers to do the same. Membership to TVRO is $20 a year. The law firm representing the association is Brown & Finn out of Washington, and if you would like more information, you can contact them at 913-478-3157. We have more news in just a minute.
Calling all manufacturers,
Distributors,
programmers,
publishers,
dealers.
be a part of the first nationwide sales campaign for satellite TV.
Educate America on satellite television.
While you inform America on all you have to offer.
Stimulate sales.
Consider this:
A commercial to air on superstations or independent programming services such as WTBS or ESPN.
or even a print ad in such publications as USA Today, TV Guide, or Sports Illustrated.
Why?
To inform America that an alternative exists.
Satellite television is the wave of the future.
And the consumer's choice for the most innovative.
Who? Efforts of manufacturer, distributor, programmer, publisher, and dealer, a public awareness campaign can be launched to educate America on all that satellite is.
But how do you get involved?
Dealers make your move.
Zero in on your target consumer and purchase the zip code for that area.
Once the commercial is funded, you will see the results.
Including a toll-free information number for the consumer to call and receive the satellite brochure.
An informative and educational brochure on satellite television for the American consumer.
And future TVRO owner.
But who is involved in the brochure's production?
For a competitive fee, manufacturers, distributors, programmers, and publishers use the brochure as a promotional tool.
And see their company or service represented in caption and photo.
Make the satellites to satellite TV.
We need your involvement.
And we need your feedback.
Those that have already responded aren't through yet.
Encourage and pressure other industry professionals to participate.
Revitalize satellite by achieving public awareness.
Participate in a program that gives you individual credibility by virtue of national exposure.
Work to rebuild satellite.
And watch satellite work for you.
New from Canada, a black box with less than half the parts. The Decipher 2 decodes the video portion of any VC2 encrypted signal, and it uses just 3 IC556 timer chips. So you can build it yourself. A detailed instruction book and board are now available, including complete schematics and parts list with Radio Shack catalog numbers for every part, all for just $35 US. Send check or money order to Valley Microwave Electronics, Bear River, Nova Scotia, Canada, BOS-1BO, or call 902-467-3577 with your Visa card ready. Sorry, no COD orders to U.S.
Welcome back. When VCR and home video began to threaten cable's revenue, paid programmers decided to turn the competition into promotion. Showtime and HBO have been encouraging cable subscribers to tape movies on their VCR right off of the cable service. In their newest promotion, Showtime offers new subscribers to the movie service rebates on Maxell tapes. Now this might work fine for the cable industry, but the Motion Picture Association says that the promotions violate copyright laws. Jack Valenti describes cable's new marketing plan as a blazing call to thievery. A final amendment of the must-carry rules was issued by the FCC last week. Where cable once had to carry every broadcast network in a 50-mile radius, today cable systems with under 21 channels must only carry one non-commercial station, and systems with 21 to 27 channels must carry 7 broadcast networks, including one non-commercial station. The amended rules also require cable operators to install and educate cable subscribers on AB switches. This would be so services may access all available over-the-air signals. Industry sources believe the AB switch policy will fail, thus demanding the FCC to reinstate harsher must-carry rules. This would be to keep independent VHF and UHF stations alive. Here's more on the battle between cable and broadcasters. Independents are planning a showdown with #1 MSO TCI in Seattle. TCI has reassigned channels, moving independent stations there to a less desirable spot on the cable system. The showdown is expected. A few candidates are up for the position of chairman of the House Subcommittee on Telecommunications. Al Swift, a Democrat from Washington, Thomas Lucan, a Democrat from Ohio, James Florio, Democrat from New Jersey, and most likely to succeed Tim Wirth is Edward Markey, Democrat from Massachusetts. Position been stated. However, the congressman did not co-sponsor any of the TVRO bills before the House, and he is working. According to his office, there is a potential for anti-competitive behavior on cable's part, and he thinks the issue will be an active one when Congress reconvenes next year. Space competitors in the business of KU-band satellite news gathering. ABC, CBS, and CNN have all decided to use GTE for their SNG ventures. According to GTE, the company won out over RCA and Comsat because of the way they transmit voice. They place the voice on a separate transponder instead of putting on a subcarrier of a video transponder. Equatorial Communications has been associated with providing K-band data service to corporate America. Well, now the company is moving into C-band. Equatorial has won a $7 million contract programming to hotels and bars via Westar 4. The QBI service is not just this one allows viewers to put buttons on individual PC consoles. The interactive idea comes from NTN Communications. The system includes a 2-foot dish, a receiver, 25-inch PC, a converter, and a video disc. The FCC has authorized Western Union to distribute Caribbean homes via the Caribbean Satellite Superstation that can be seen on Westar 5, Transponder 12. The new programming service provides viewers with information on the islands. Those interested in previewing a half-hour video magazine show on Caribbean things can tune in right before Boresight next week on SpaceNet 1, Channel 9, that's at 8:30. Home Shopping Network says they will do 4. The Cable Value Network projects $600 million in revenue in 1987. Yet some sources say that there will be a shakeout in the shop-at-home programming services. Some say that this new moneymaker is just a fad. Well, fad or not, new services are popping up every day. The Playboy Channel now has a shop-at-home program which they hope to syndicate on a cash and barter arrangement. Quality Value Channel has teamed up with Sears, giving QVC exclusive rights to market Sears merchandise over the air. QVC has moved from F to F3R Transponder 8 and F4 Transponder 8. Shopping Line is a new service on SpaceNet 1 Transponder 19. Sky Merchant can be found on G3 Transponder 11. There's a Home Shopping Club on K1, and Canadian Home Shopping begins on Annex C3 later in the month. Consumer Discount Network is on F420. HSN has moved on to G2 Transponder 7, and now the Black Entertainment Network begins shop-at-home programming on F3 Transponder 20. Other news on the birds. Maycom's Scrambling Information Channel went off the air, and the Travel Channel is on SATCOM 3R Transponder 16. Fox Television has distributed its fourth network feeds from Telstar 301, Transponder 11, and Transponder 14. C-SPAN Senate proceedings have stopped their transmission. That concludes this night's industry news. We'll have lots more Boresight, so stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
Well, this is a reminder to each and everyone who would like to better scrambling and descrambling situation as it now exists. There will be a series of 3-day seminars to be held January 12th to 14th, 14th to 16th, and 16th to 19th. And these scrambling seminars are called the Descrambling Summit. There is room for 100 attendees at each of these 3-day sessions. Each attendee will see, touch, and be taught to understand the various scramble busting techniques now available in the marketplace. And each attendee will receive up to four scramble busting chips with a street value of $1,400. That's a part of the seminar registration packet. In other words, if you are confused by scrambling, if you are confused by the various cloning and musketeer approaches to descrambling, and you are confused by the various devices that you understand are being brought to market to descramble video cipher, then perhaps what you need most is some real facts. You should make your plans to attend the first Descrambling Summit. This is no ordinary trade show gathering for the satellite industry. First of all, it's being held on the island of Providencia, Turks and Caicos. You will leave South Florida by jet on a chartered jet for the 85. actual operation descrambler systems using clone, musketeer, and other newly developed chips. If you are a potential buyer of descrambling equipment, you will meet and talk with those people who have produced and who now have for sale the various chips that are out there. You will see the musketeer chips actually produced before your descrambling summit. You will also be taught, and some chip approaches are vulnerable to satellite control, and why others are not. In short, you will learn all there is to know about descrambling in one place. Plus you will receive those 4 descrambling chips as a part of your package. That one place is Provo, or Providenciales Islands, and the dates are 14th to 16th to 19th. This summit on board November the 8th, more than half of the 300 available seats had been filled already. The 800 number you now see on your screen, 1-800-351-8261, is very important. 6 p.m. Eastern to get all of the facts about the descrambling summit being held. And then between January 12th and 19th, I will meet you on Provo in the Turks and Caicos Islands, because I live there, and this is my descrambling summit.
And your income by exclusive text telephone. The experience, support, and reputation of 20 years in the telephone industry through the Apex Dealership Program.
Well, one of the big advantages of our dealership program would be for to attain and sell the type of system that isn't readily out. And beyond that, to back them with support, like I said before, sales training, and the ability to have might encounter.
Apex handles well-built such as ComDial. ComDial exclusive feature 2242.
Is this what your customers see when you turn? Not anymore. Now you as a dealer can access any VC2 scrambled programming in your showroom with the chip. Here, video-only scrambled transponders without violating copyright laws. The chip also allows you to illustrate all the special features of the VC2 with a full screen display of its $9.90. The ability to only portion while advertising all available for your customers to $39 details tag with your dealership name. Your store name would appear on the TV screen for only. To order, call Boresight Boutique at 201-562-0080.
These numbers are very important to you dealers because special show, actually 2 special shows. Before Doug's on, there's consumer telling you all the pricing information is coded. Please call the phone on the East Coast line 482-3918. If you're on the West Coast, call 213-803-9584. There's someone there right now who will give you the information you'll need for that. Now, this is viewer mail, so let's get on with viewer mail. First viewer mail, or actually the basic letter we're going to read here, is one from Solar Electric. He has actually 4 depending on. First is Pilgrim Video. Pilgrim Video sent him $1,250. It doesn't do a damn thing. $950 from you satellite dealers. Why don't you boards? This is another comment on Spectrum's got this guy's had it here on Boresight. Obviously, there's a problem with future communication, also known as Phasecom, also known as Zenith. This guy sent him $1,500 and still hasn't gotten it back. By the way, Future, if you wonder who he is, his name is Solar Electric, and he's in Newton, Alabama. And the last thing we want to thank this Solar for is for as we get a zip. Now, we've got how things work. It makes perfect sense to me. So, from my particular stance, but it makes the market move. We're going to sell VC to consumers to get their VC2s. So, if you want a VC2, it's $375. You can buy it from us here at Boresight and charge it on your Visa Master Charge. There is a little bit less of a price for dealers if you buy in lots of 5. We will also install the IC socket we spoke about last week, but use it in the national advertising campaign. So I urge you people out there to buy your VC2s from us here at Boresight or from your own, and we will take the profits from that and make it back into the national advertising campaign, and will help you dealers. So if you haven't bought a zip code yet and you know about it, call us. We'll give you more information if you need it. Okay, what provided us with the most amount of entertainment last week, and I guess for the last year, has been the old VC2 board. Here it is again. Many of you have called about what did we talk about last week. First feature explained it a little bit better. Is the VC2 board, this is a socket installed in U30, which we do here, and we reinstall the U30. But U30 home, and if you want to play with a dealer demo chip or any chip, you just pull out your U30, plug in right in the socket, any of these magic chips, and it does whatever you want the chip to do. In the case of the clone the Three Musketeers chip, what that does is, once you've installed it, it can be a CNN, it can be select, all become Maycom say that's not going to hold up, it's not going to work. Well, we heard the same situation from Oak when they decided to refix the hole that Westar Technologies found in their system. Well, Westar Technology found a way to fix the hole again after Oak spent a fortune trying to plug the hole that Westar found. The same thing is going to happen with the Maycom. If Maycom is able to shut down this particular method, which according to everybody that's looked at it, it's impossible to shut this particular method down, the only way they can do it is to recall all of the systems out there and to make a physical change on the board. Then they've lost. The encryption people have lost it, and we've won this particular battle. I don't think we've won the war yet. The war is won when we have a fair price and not at a fair price. The war is not won when we steal it. We've actually lost that war in some ways. But they're losing too. So the fair way to do it would be to give us programming and pricing at a reasonable price. There are two people now marketing the Three Musketeers method. They are Exact in Canada, and now there's a new player, Integrated Digital Systems. Now, Integrated is slightly different than Exact in that they will send it to you COD. All you do is call them with your number. However, on COD orders it's $265, and on regular prepaid orders it's $250. The reasoning behind that is simply that they have to custom make your chip. And unfortunately, a lot of you right at the Boresight know that because here at Boresight, we send them out, despite some rumors to the contrary. We send all these things out, and they come back where they've made 3 attempts and they couldn't deliver it, or you refused it. The trouble is that when any of this happens, we're out all that postage. In some cases, it might be $5 or $4 or something like this, or maybe something heavier. So that's why there's an extra charge for the. And then, if you do refuse that chip from Integrated Digital Systems, they have to remake a whole new one. So there's a law there. We had that letter was chose to be published here in, but this time Satellite Dealer handled it. Boresight, they appreciate Boresight. They feel that we're a little weird at times, but isn't it? So stay tuned, and then stay tuned, and stay tuned for Consumer Electronics. Be right back. All this and it does it so beautifully that your original U30 is kept intact and can be put into the side. If you want to play with anything, you just unplug U30 and plug in anything you'd like. The reason is the warranty of the board. Otherwise, if you don't do it this way, the only way to get U30 out is this way. Looks a little dramatic, but it does the job. And the reason you have to do it this way, or with a vacuum cleaner, is because of these extremely fine traces. See how fine the line is? Well, that's actually a little foil, piece of foil that goes to each leg of U30. Do it that way and keep your board, or you can send it on into us and we'll vacuum it out and put a socket in for you. Well, that's Boresight for tonight, but there's so much to talk about that we didn't talk about in the show.
Well, let's get going.
Well, let's talk about...
This isn't even over. So
well, no, let me tell you what this is. This is Terry Smith from Consumer Electronics from California. So see, Terry? It's written there someplace. Okay. She's out of Minneapolis, however, Doug really wanted to be on the second up, which is too bad.
Which you're going to see a lot of new and exciting things that we're going to sell, and that this fellow is going to, Terry.
Yeah, but Doug's got some neat stuff too. Yeah, we do. We have some. You have found some stuff, right?
I've found some really good stuff. Christmas stuff. We got Christmas coming.
So we have some very cool stuff. We have Transponder Magazine did something on FaceTime, right? I wonder if they got a letter from.
Oh, we certainly have. What in the face has been received regarding FaceTime? The average dealer, I think, invests as much as $20,000 in this. The problem that they find right now is that people complaining are getting these forms. If you keep quiet, we'll refund your fees. Legal counsel took a look at the form, and what they found was that the form actually said that they had already received a refund. So that seems a little shady to me. I don't know.
Good lawyer, that I forget his name, Mark and Cross. In case you don't not familiar with Transponder magazine, and here is the dealer magazine, and they're looking for dealers.
However, that may not really be a dealer magazine. It's Satellite Times because Satellite Times is still putting in advertising that has wholesale prices in it.
It's a dealer magazine. Look. It is for dealers. Why they're advertising an ONSAT to get the general junkie public to subscribe to it, I don't know. But it really is.
Times editor Bob Sherman, it is a magazine for anybody who's interested in the industry, including cable, satellite, consumers, whoever. Now, the advertising policy of Satellite Times is similar to that of the New York Times, where unless an ad is pornographic or selling something that's illegal, they will print it, and they will not edit out what an advertiser wants to print.
We're starting a neat little war here. We hit them one week, they hit us another week, they hit us another. It's good. It's going to be good. I wonder what they're going to hit a real bombshell for you. We're waiting to pull.
One of the concerns also in the industry ever since space merged with before then, actually years before then, was who could really represent the rights of the TVRO dealer and the consumer. Well, a lot of TVRO small businessmen have joined a lobby group called the Independent Businessmen, and that is basically a small business association. Gone into that trade group, asking them to get involved in the scrambling issue, and calls have come in here to Boresight suggesting that maybe the NFIB could represent TVRO. That's a good thought, but the problem with the NFIB is that they can't represent industry issues. What they represent is issues faced by all.
Our associations now, we've got 2 or 3 of them that KSAT and other people have started, besides the space merger with DBS and that association, that do lend itself to the consumer. Well,
Brown and Finn, the attorneys that used to work with space, now are still actively involved in representing TVRO viewer rights. And one association that they're representing is the Satellite Viewing Rights Association, which is made up of distributors and manufacturers in the industry, and now another one, which is called TVRO, the Television Viewing Rights Organization. I reported on that in the news. They intend to represent all television viewers. At $20 a year representing all, they expect to have a substantial membership base and enough money and enough power to get right.
Yeah, so if you have an extra $20, maybe we can put their name up on the screen. We have some other names to put up on the screen before we go tonight. That is of 2020 and Horowitz, David Horowitz, and those names are going up on the screen because we would like you to write to them and explain the plight of the satellite industry, how we're not getting fair pricing on programming, and how it has forced this industry to act. They charge a realistic figure. So write 2020, and let's just get on with and focus our energies with just 1 or 2 places each week to write. And I think those 2 might be 2 you consider this week. Those people that want to be independent dealers, businessmen. We had the business association on a minute ago. We should have mentioned our new advertiser, the people at Apex. They're small business people. They are looking for others to get involved in telephone installations. So if you are interested in branching out and spreading
and staying a little warm in winter time, then this is a good endeavor for you to get into. We did a feature about this a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of phone calls did go into the company regarding getting involved in the business, and I think they didn't expect as much reaction to the piece and as much participation as they got. So I think they've been a little slow in responding, but I guess they're going to get on to you people this week.
Who wants to get on to you this week is Westar Technology, a really great book on encryption. If you're looking to investigate encryption now that it's becoming a forefront in all the magazines and so on, you want to know more about it, you want to know how it's done and how you can be involved with it, by all means, call or write. They do have an incredible manual that they produced some time ago, I guess a couple months ago now, and there's going to be an update, revision, that has just come out from Westar Technologies. So here's their number, and give them a call or write to them and ask them for their manual. I think it's $25 for it. And what else is so cheap in this world? Not much.
Nothing. Nothing.
I got to get into that one.